to spend a little bit of time talking about interactive code of conduct PDF. There are many ways to achieve an interactive code of conduct, and some organizations have invested a lot of resources and time into doing things like proprietary or custom web implementations for their code of conduct. We offer as a service interactive elements to the PDF format, the Adobe PDF format. And there are several reasons why we typically counsel our clients to move in that direction. One is, many of you that are watching this right now are intimately familiar with Adobe PDF because it's become the common digital format to send documents where you need the most amount of compatibility. PDF has, for the last few years, been adding features that allow some interactivity, including things like video. This testbed I'm going to show you today doesn't actually have embedded video in it, but you can do things like that. A lot of people don't realize that PDF is flexible. But while being flexible, you still, at its core, have a document like the one we see on the screen right now that is viewable on pretty much every format, every platform that's out there. Whether you have a smartphone, a tablet, a PC, even a PC that maybe doesn't have the latest operating system, PDF is the universal format, and there is some great advantage to that, particularly when you're talking about a code of conduct that is going to be applicable to a wide, sometimes global audience that is viewing or has access to this document in many different formats. And at the end of the day, when you have this document, you can also print it out on a piece of paper. So what you see in front of you right now, I'm going to go through some of the features on this test bed just really quickly. The first 2 pages. Some common things are navigation tools. And many of you have already seen this in PDF documents before, where you can change the pages. You can link to, for instance, the compliance website here. This is not going to do it because it's not hooked up, but that would take you to another website. You have hyperlinks throughout the document where you can click on and go to particular resources on the intranet at your organization or out into the web. You can cross-reference, obviously, to policies that on the particular topic that the code happens to be discussing in that section. You can do things like link out to information for the hotline with different icons. You can also do email. These are things that are probably pretty commonly understood or seen in PDF documents these days. But there's other navigation tools that can be quite helpful. When you have a lengthy document, what you see on the right side of this testbed are some tabs for navigating throughout the document very quickly to different sections of the code based on the topic that you want or the reader wants to look at. The other thing that you can do that's pretty powerful and not too complicated to do is incorporate some interactivity with your learning aids, your comprehension aids that you put within your conduct. Things like decision trees. We see right here on the second page, which walks through our ethical decision-making matrix, asking whether the decision or action that they wish to take is legal. Is it consistent with our policy? Does the result show respect and fairness to our customers and stakeholders? And would I be happy if that decision ended up on the front page of the newspaper? This is a pretty common sort of discussion that organizations now have in their code of conduct, and it really lends itself to interactivity. And obviously, if any point along the line the employee or stakeholder says no to any of these questions, they get the appropriate response that tells them that they should not proceed. Other interactivity things like click lists under a Q&A or scenario that reinforce particular bullets or issues that you want to on a particular topic. Things like multiple choice for Q&As. So if they happen to pick the wrong answer, it'll say, no, sorry, that's inconsistent with the policy. Try again. And if they happen to get it right, it will congratulate them for getting it right. So it just adds a little layer of interactivity, a little layer of interest for common things that we're putting in our code of conduct now that really, with just some simple updates can really encourage people to participate a little bit more in the process. And you can do some things that are topical too. Like in our social media testbed here, we have a smartphone screen up with a social media platform appearing on it. And in this scenario, your reader can pick one of these statements to like. If they happen to pick one that is inconsistent with your policy, it will explain why that is not a good idea. And there again, just as with the multiple choice, if they happen to pick the right one, it will also congratulate them and say that's appropriate and reinforce why that's an appropriate choice to make based on the policy of the organization. These are just some simple things you can do, and it just gives you a really quick sense of the possibilities. And it's not overly resource intensive to do, and this document still will print. This document will still work on every platform that's out there as far as being able to provide the information that's out there. Even if the interactive elements aren't available, you don't end up having to have several different implementations. So it's I think for many organizations is still a good choice to make. And if you have any questions about Adobe PDF and interactivity with regards to code of conduct development, please come to our website at www.moreheadconsulting.com or email us at info@moreheadconsulting.com. And we'd be happy to answer any questions on this or anything else. Thank you.